Silly face. Hey, young world. Legend Noel here. A lot of us are dating our apps in 2018. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you log on to Instagram, dig it. Instagram is your boyfriend. If in your afternoon while you're running, making your runs, and you get a little quiet moment, the first thing you do is you log on Instagram, Instagram is your boyfriend. If it's 1:30 in the morning and you go, and you don't have somebody to call, even though you're dating somebody, but you log on to Instagram one last time before you go to sleep, that is your boyfriend. And that's what's wrong with our dating nowadays. We're dating and we're talking and we're going and we like people. But back in the day, what we used to do was we used to pick up the phone and call. We used to pick up the phone and call. We would talk to them because that's how you build real bonds and connections with the people that you like. You make time and you call. When nowadays the first thing we do, we wake up in the morning is we roll over and we log into Facebook and we read a whole bunch of stuff that has no real relevance in our lives. We're on Instagram off and on all day looking at stuff that has nothing to do with our lives. When in reality, if you're talking to somebody, you're dating somebody, that should be the person that fills that time. When you wake up in the morning and you're talking to somebody, you should call them. You should be able to remember the exciting thing about it. You'd be like, hey babe, what's going on? And they'd wake up and talk to you. Now you roll over and you're looking at a freaking app, looking at stuff that has no real freaking meaning. And that's where we're going wrong. I've got two friends. And the reality is, I see the duality in their relationships. Kim over here, she's been dating a guy. He calls her all throughout the day. Hey, babe, what's going on? This happened. Hey, babe, what's going on? That happened. If something bad happens, he calls her. And vice versa. Kim calls him on her lunch break at work. She calls him when she's driving to work. She calls him when she's riding the bus. She calls him before she goes to bed. And I'm like, Kim, I like that guy. You've got a great relationship, and she feels really close and connected to him. They're bonding. That's how you bond as a couple, because that person becomes a very important person in the world to you, probably one of the most important, and you talk to them all the time. Now we've got Victoria over here, and Victoria is like, I don't have somebody to talk to, even though I'm dating somebody. And I was like, well, what the fuck does that mean, Vic? She's like, well, he's busy a lot. He calls me back whenever he gets a break. He's always, as he says, hustling or taking care of business. When reality is, when a person values you and they care for you, they pick up the phone. But see, the side trick to that is a lot of times that elusiveness, that kind of bad boy vibe really turns women on, and it typically creates attraction in the beginning of a relationship, because that's why a lot of times as a woman you'll find yourself chasing and pursuing a guy and thinking, oh my god, I really like this guy, because he's unavailable to you, because we tend to like what we can't have. But once a woman starts to realize that, she's like, wow, I'm always chasing him, she starts to wake up to that, and it's like, well fuck, I'm always chasing him. And then that illusion starts to wear down, because no one wants to pursue someone all the time and feel like it's not being reciprocated. You start to feel dumb after a while. Now, back to what I'm saying is, if you're going to bed and you can't pick up the phone and talk to this person and boo love and talk those good conversations at night, you're probably dating your apps. And you really shouldn't. You really shouldn't have to settle for being on Instagram all day